Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic and timeless machines ever built, the 1961 Jaguar E-Type. A car that didn't just turn heads when it launched, it completely redefined what people expected from a sports car. Even today, decades later, it still feels special, still looks breathtaking, and still holds a kind of presence that modern cars often struggle to match. The first thing that hits you about the Jaguar E-Type is its exterior design. This car wasn't just designed, it was sculpted. The long, flowing hood stretches out like a piece of art, giving it that unmistakable silhouette. The front end is low and sleek, with covered headlights in early models that added to its smooth, aerodynamic look. There's something almost animal-like about the way it sits, like it's ready to leap forward at any moment. The curves are what really define it. From the front fenders to the rear haunches, every line feels natural and fluid. Nothing looks forced. The body feels alive, almost like it was shaped by the wind itself. The chrome details are minimal but perfectly placed, adding just enough shine without overpowering the design. Even the grille is simple, yet elegant, allowing the overall shape of the car to do most of the talking. Move to the side and that long bonnet becomes even more dramatic. It's not just long for style, it also hints at the power underneath. The wire wheels add a classic touch, and the low stance gives it that proper sports car attitude. The rear end is just as beautiful, rounded and clean, with slim taillights that keep everything balanced. There's no unnecessary bulk anywhere. Every inch of this car feels intentional. Step inside, and the interior tells a completely different story, but just as impressive. The cabin is simple, yet it feels luxurious in a very classic way. You're surrounded by leather, metal, and carefully crafted details. There's no overload of technology here, just pure driving focus. The seats are low and supportive, placing you right into the car rather than on top of it. The driving position feels connected, like you're part of the machine. The dashboard is filled with analog gauges, each one clearly laid out and easy to read. The dials have that vintage charm, with needle movements that feel mechanical and alive. The steering wheel is thin compared to modern standards, but it gives you a direct and raw connection to the road. The center console is clean, with toggle switches that add to the classic feel. Even the gear shifter has a satisfying mechanical action, reminding you that this car comes from a time when driving was more physical, more engaging. There's a certain elegance in the simplicity of the interior. It's not trying to impress with screens or flashy features. Instead, it focuses on materials and craftsmanship. The smell of leather, the feel of metal switches, the sound of the engine echoing into the cabin, all of it creates an experience that feels genuine and unforgettable. Now let's talk about what's under that long hood, because this is where the E-Type really proves it wasn't just about looks. The 1961 model came with a 3.8-liter inline-six engine, and for its time, it was seriously impressive. This engine produced around 265 horsepower, which might not sound huge by today's standards, but back then, it was more than enough to make this car incredibly fast. What made this engine special wasn't just the numbers, it was how it delivered power. The acceleration felt smooth yet strong, building up speed in a way that felt controlled but exciting. The engine had a distinct sound, a deep and refined growl that turned into a thrilling note as you pushed it harder. The top speed was around 150 miles per hour, which was remarkable for a car of its era. It could go from 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, putting it ahead of many competitors at the time. This wasn't just a stylish car, it was a serious performance machine. The engineering behind it was just as impressive. The E-Type featured independent suspension, which helped improve handling and ride comfort. Disc brakes on all four wheels were another advanced feature, giving it strong stopping power that added confidence at higher speeds. Driving the Jaguar E-Type is where everything comes together. This isn't a car you just sit in and cruise without thinking. It demands your attention, but in a way that makes every moment enjoyable. The steering feels direct, giving you a clear sense of what the front wheels are doing. You feel connected to the road in a way that modern cars often filter out. The acceleration feels alive. You can feel the engine working, hear it responding to every input. There's a sense of mechanical honesty here. Nothing is hidden, nothing is artificial. Every movement, every sound, every vibration adds to the experience. Cornering in the E-Type is surprisingly capable. Thanks to its suspension setup, it handles curves with confidence. It might not match the grip levels of modern sports cars, but it delivers a kind of feedback that makes driving more engaging. You're not just controlling the car, you're communicating with it. Even at lower speeds, it feels special. Whether you're driving through city streets or cruising on an open road, the E-Type has a presence that makes every journey feel like an event. People notice it. It turns heads everywhere it goes. And as a driver, you feel that connection, that sense of driving something truly iconic. Of course, it's not perfect by modern standards. The ride can feel firm, and the cabin can get warm due to the engine heat. There's no power steering in early models, so it requires effort at low speeds. But these things don't feel like flaws, they feel like part of the character. They remind you that this car comes from a different era, one where driving was more raw and more involved. The Jaguar E-Type isn't just a car, it's a piece of history. It represents a time when design and performance came together in a way that felt groundbreaking. It showed the world that a car could be both beautiful and fast, without compromise. Even today, it holds a special place among collectors and enthusiasts. Its value isn't just in its rarity, but in what it represents. It's a symbol of innovation, elegance, and pure driving passion. The final verdict on the 1961 Jaguar E-Type is simple. It's one of the greatest cars ever made. Not because it has the most power or the latest technology, but because it delivers something deeper. It offers an experience that feels authentic, emotional, and unforgettable. It's a car that makes you feel something every time you look at it, every time you sit inside it, and every time you drive it. And that's something very few cars, no matter how modern or advanced, can truly match.